I used to be a park ranger in the Great Smoky Mountains in Tennessee. It wasn't a bad job. The scenery was amazing. I loved to drive up to Klingman's Dome, overlook and watch the sunrise. Anytime there was a thunderstorm, I headed out for the overlook. One of the best things about the job is autonomy. Being left alone to do whatever needs to be done is great. But it doesn't come without its downside. The park is massive. It's over 500,000 acres and 11 million people visit every year. I found out the hard way why the park closes at night. If you've never driven through the Great Smokies on a cloudy moonlit night, you've never experienced true soul-crushing darkness. You know those extremely bright LED lights that so many trucks have on in the front of their grill that blind you when they drive towards you? Yeah, our trucks don't have those. We have regular lights, the old dull yellow lights. The ones that make you wonder if your battery is going dead or if you'd be better off shining a flashlight ahead of you because you might see more that way. The AM radio in the Ranger truck spews out static-filled country garbage. It would be easy to just turn it off, but sometimes I feel like it's my only company on the endless black ribbon of a road that runs through the sea of darkness. One thing this job gives you plenty of is time to think, and sometimes that's not a good thing. I slam on my brakes to avoid hitting a deer. It glances at me and then continues to strut across the road, in no hurry at all. "You're welcome!" I yell out my window. The deer doesn't even pause. I swear the animals around here think they own the place, I think with a chuckle. Just to make my life more interesting, it starts to snow. In normal places that's not much of a problem. In this mountain of pitch black, it could become a problem real quick. It usually doesn't snow here, but when it does, there's a call for concern. Most times it's a freak occurrence, and comes fast and heavy. This time it's no exception. Within minutes, the road is covered. Already, low visibility has been reduced to nearly zero. And of course, it starts when I'm the furthest away from the station, right in the middle of nowhere. I slow to a crawl, knowing it's gonna take me forever to get back. But at least I'll get there in one piece, instead of sliding off a mountain to my very gory death. I hope. I turned on my windshield wipers in a futile attempt to keep visibility. They work almost as well as the radio. The defroster and the wipers fight a losing battle against the onslaught of snow. I would just pull over and wait it out, but out there, I don't want to end up buried in snow for days waiting for someone to come plow me out. Each station has one snowplow and I don't remember the last time it was used. Suddenly, I look out the front of the truck and remember that I'm driving the only truck that has the mount for the plow. Translation: I need to get back because no one's coming to get me. As that cheering thought rattles through my head, I come to a turn that I see just in time and have to wrench the wheel hard to the right to stay on the road. My tires in the deepening snow disagree on which way the truck is going, and I end up sliding towards the edge. I jump on the brakes in a panic, causing them to join the direction argument. In the end, momentum wins. I slide closer to the rail that I know won't keep me from diving hundreds of feet to my death. I'd love to say that my life flashed in front of me, but all I could see was the damn snow. I'm going to die surrounded by irritatingly blinding white. With nothing else to do, I close my eyes and pray. Time slows down as I try to bargain with my maker. The usual stuff. I'll be better. I'll give to the church. I'll become a priest, a missionary, a whatever you freaking want as long as you save my life. I feel a heavy thump. This is it, I think. I'm going over the edge. As a last-ditch desperate thought, I open my door and throw myself out into the road. I land hard, like a belly flopper on asphalt. The wind escapes my chest and refuses to come back. I lay there rocking back and forth on the cold white road, hoping that by some bizarre twist of fate, someone else doesn't come along and run me over. Seconds turn to minutes as I lay there watching the snow in its relentless downpour, waiting for my breath to return. Eventually, I'm able to come around and painfully rise to my feet. The truck sits idling as if nothing has happened. I reach in and put it in parking, feeling embarrassed and stupid for having gotten myself in such a panic. I grab my flashlight and go to the front of the truck to see what the damage is. I'm surprised to find the front bumper is sitting 4 feet from the rail. I knew I hit something, I say to myself, examining the rail, finding it undamaged. I turn the light to my bumper and find it's bent in slightly at the end. My light flashes back and forth between the undamaged guardrail and the damaged bumper. What the hell? As my brain wraps around this puzzle, another piece falls into place. I see patches of hair on the bumper and red in the snow. As I pursue the matter, I see the imprint of a large animal laying in the snow in front of my truck. I pull out my phone and take a picture. The impression it made is massive. This thing is at least as tall as the truck is wide, even bigger. Great, I hit a bear, I say sarcastically. I sigh as I see the trail of red heading off into the trees besides the road. I guess I have to go check on it. I return to the truck, grab my coat and the keys, then head after my quarry. The rat is becoming difficult to track through the deepening snow. The tracks themselves seem odd. They're too close together. It's almost as if the bear is walking on its hind legs. But why would it do that? Did I hurt its front paw or something? I approach the edge of the woods, still following the red tracks. I don't want to go too far into the woods. I'm hoping I can catch a quick glimpse of the bear, alive and well, licking a paw, but otherwise okay. Tracking through the dark woods in a snowstorm isn't a part of the plan to keep me alive long enough to retire. As I follow the tracks, I notice something else about them. They don't look like bear tracks. In fact, if I would say they look like anything I'd see, it's dog tracks. But they're way too big to be a dog. Even a Malamute or Saint Bernard wouldn't make tracks this big. I step into the woods, not intending to go far, and flash the light around. The tracks continue, going slightly uphill. Nope, I say. Not tonight. I turn to head back to the truck when I hear a low guttural growl. I slowly turn back and see a red glowing eye staring at me from behind a tree. I shine the light in the direction and see the tracks lead right up to the tree that hides all but the eyes of this creature. It's massive. The eyes must be 8 feet off the ground. I've never seen anything like this. I still haven't seen it. Just the eyes. In my terrified stupor, I do the least likely thing possible. I pull out my phone and take a picture. The flashlight makes it blink, but also appears to make it angry. It starts toward me. I would love to say that I was calm, cool and collected as I returned to my vehicle and was on about my merry way. That didn't happen. I scream and turn to run, but my boots are slippery and I fell, nearly hitting my head on a rock. As I start to gain traction and speed, I hear heavy footsteps behind me. There's no need for me to turn and look. I know it's coming for me. Oh dear God, oh dear God, oh dear God! I know I'm not going to make it. I do the one thing I don't want to do. I glance back, a massive amount of fur galloping towards me, its red eyes glowing with malice. It's coming so fast that it'll overtake me when I try to go around the truck. My panicked mind runs through a myriad of options, from just give up, to turn and command it to stop, to throw the flashlight, hoping it will fetch it and give you time to get inside. The moment of truth arrives. I'm almost to the truck, but I can feel its hot breath breathing down my neck. I'll never make it around the corner. I try to think back to all those dinosaur movies I've seen and how they escaped. My mind reminds me that many of them ended up as dino snack before the film was done. I sarcastically thank my brain for the happy thought and choose the one tactic from the movies that seemed to be successful. I slide under the truck. I'm barely on the ground until I hear a loud bang and the truck lurches to the side. A massive snout shoves itself as far under the truck as it can and sniffs. I try to ease my way out from under the truck, but the snout disappears and reappears on the driver's side. This time, there was also claws pawing at me, trying to get a hold of me. I shimmy away from them, only to have them show up on the other side. Back and forth we go, like a demented seesaw. Front, back, side, wherever I go, it's right there trying to grab me. After an eternity of this game, it tries something new. The paws disappear, and I feel the truck's spring compress. It's climbed on top of the truck. Shit! Now I can see no matter where I try to go. I test my theory by shining the flashlight toward the back of the truck. It instantly appears and tries to shove its snout under, snapping at me. I push further toward the front. It returns to its vanguard on the top of the truck. For what seems like an eternity, I lay as still as possible, trying not to move, barely breathing, hoping it will lose interest in me and return to the woods. My waiting game comes to an end when I realize the snow is almost up to the level of the frame of the truck. I'm going to lose visibility soon. I know I need to do something. I come up with a desperate and stupid plan. I shine my light at the back of the truck, causing the creature to jump down and claw at me. At the same time, I dig some snow away from the front of the truck to regain visibility. Then I do the same in reverse. I shine the light out of the front and dig at the back. Next, I execute the most desperate and stupid part of my plan. I throw the lit flashlight towards the front of the truck. It bounces near the guardrail and for a moment looks like it's going to hit it and bounce back. I freeze in fear as it takes one more bounce and then disappears over the side. The creature leaps down but doesn't show its snout under the truck. It jumps the guardrail and disappears. I gasp in astonishment. The plan has worked. I lay there and marvel. Then my mind kicks my ass. What the hell are you still laying here for? Get in the truck! I jump up, hitting my head on the underside of the truck, then roll out on the driver's side and yank at the door. Of course it's locked. I fumbled with the keys, just like I've seen in every horror movie. I used to wonder how those people could suddenly forget how to use a key. Now I know. After a few failed attempts, I finally managed to open the door and throw myself inside. I start it up and slam it in reverse, then hit the gas and nearly do a full 360 as the tires fight for traction in the foot of snow that has accumulated. I take a deep breath and compose myself before giving it a little gas just enough to get moving and get myself back on the road. This leads me to my next problem. The road is gone. All that remains is a blanket of white. Sweat forms on my brow as I start down the road, steering by measuring the distance of the trees to the blank spot that used to be the road. I crawl my way down the mountain this way, slowing to a near stop anytime there was a curve. Unfortunately, it's the Smoky Mountain, so it's all curves. An hour later, it seems like I'm no closer to the station. However, a minor miracle happens. The snow stops. I'm so ecstatic I'm nearly jumping in my seat. I might even make it home alive. I glance to my rear view mirror and those hopes are dashed. In the distance I see glowing red eyes and they're getting closer. My veins turn to ice as I press down on the accelerator after sliding through a turn, barely remaining in control of the vehicle. I realize that I can't outrun it. I slow, but only a little. On the few straight spots in the road I speed up, but then have to slow down when I get to a curve. On the straight stretches is the only time I can afford to glance into the mirror. Each time I do, the eyes are still there, and they're a little closer. I inch my way closer to the station, clinging to the desperate hope that I can make it there before this thing catches and devours me. I look at my odometer and realize I'm only a few miles from the station. It might as well be a million. I sigh as I glance back to see the eyes have gotten considerably larger. There's a sharp turn coming up. I know I have to slow down for it. I know the thing will catch up when I do. I also know there's a steep drop-off at this turn. I'm stuck. No matter what I do, it's going to end badly. I do what has to be done. I slow down enough to keep from sliding off the edge. When I straighten out, I glance back and the eyes are gone. Could it have slipped off the edge? My hope rises, then suddenly plummet as I see the red eyes beside me. The monster is running beside the truck. It slams into the door, making a huge dent. It slams again and shatters the window. Its snout dives in and snaps at me. I duck into the passenger seat as the snarling, snapping jaws of death inch closer. I do the only thing I can think of. I slam on the brakes. The unprepared monster goes flying forward as I slide to a stop. It shakes itself and stands, growling at me and baring its teeth. I jump on the gas pedal and get as much speed as possible and run it over. The truck leaps in the air as the tires pass over the massive monster. I don't slow down until I have to. After I make it through the curve, I look back and don't see glowing eyes. I hazard a glance out the window and see nothing but snow. I can't trust the quiet. I'm so paranoid, I'm shaking. At this point, I think I'd rather see the blasted beast, just to know where it is, rather than this ungodly suspense. After a few minutes, and many more glances back, I finally give myself permission to relax. I'm only a mile away from the station. I can't believe I made it. The truck explodes from the impact. I feel like I've been rear-ended by a bulldozer. I wrestle with the steering wheel as I'm hit again. The truck is going faster even though I'm standing on the brakes. I look back and see the monster. It's pushing me. I look forward and see the guardrail crumble underneath my front bumper. The truck slides over the edge. It's not the steepest ravine in the park, but it does need to be. The truck falls end over end, then takes a turn and starts rolling. In all that's happened, I never took the time to fasten my seatbelt. I'm thrown around like a rag ball. By some miracle, I stayed inside the truck the whole way to the bottom. I don't know how long I was unconscious, but I awake to heavy footsteps and snarling. I'm laying sideways under what's left of the back seat. The truck is on the roof and I'm laying in a puddle of glass and blood. The monster sticks its snout in through the shattered window and leers at me with its glowing red eyes. I try to crawl away, but my leg is bent at an unnatural angle, probably broken. Pain shoots through me as I try to use my arm to push away. In the end I realize there's no escape, no fight left in me. I lay there and wait for the inevitable. It sniffs at me. Drool drips from its mouth as I am assaulted by its putrid breath. This is it. I close my eyes and wait. Nothing happens. I open my eyes and it's gone. I painfully turn to see if it's playing some game, but I can't find it. "What the hell happened to you?" says one of my fellow rangers as he sticks his face in the open window. "How?" is all I can manage. "Looks like you're about the luckiest son of a bitch I've ever seen," he said. "You must have rolled off the road up there and landed on this road down here. A few more feet and you would have been headed for another tumble." I lay there waiting for something else to happen. This is a dream, I think. I'm dreaming. I'm being rescued while the monster chews me to pieces. Let's get you to the hospital, the ranger says. I wake up in the hospital. My right arm and left leg are each in a cast. It hurts to breathe. I'm pretty sure there's some broken ribs. The door is open and another ranger steps inside. I see they got you all fixed up, he chuckles. What happened to you out there? Fall asleep at the wheel? Think about what I should tell him. I wonder how much he would believe. Then I remember, phone. I rasp. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out his phone. I shake my head painfully. No, my phone. He searches through the bag that has my clothes in it and pulls out my phone with several cracks on the screen. Pictures, I rasp. He opens the screen and navigates to the pictures. He looks at the last one I took. Well, ain't that something, he says. I'm so glad he sees it. I can tell my story and have the proof for all of them to see. He turns the phone towards me. All I see in the picture is white. The flash was on and the snow wiped out the image of the monster. He scrolls back to the other picture of the imprint of the creature. But it also is washed out by the flash of the snow. I'm devastated. I know what I saw. I know it's real. Isn't it? I turn away. I'll let you go so you can rest up, he says, then walks out the door. I'm not crazy. I saw it. A month later, I'm feeling a lot better. My arm, leg, and ribs are on the mend. I've filled out my accident report. I didn't mention anything about the creature. The crash was caused by me slipping on the snowy road. I wish I could say that I've improved mentally, that I don't have nightmares, that I don't look out the window every night and see red glowing eyes staring back at me from the woods. But I can't say that. It would be a lie. I know it's hunted me down. I know it's waiting for me.